Bracket number 2, the New York Post is suggesting that the New York City exodus will end in April. And that's according to a real estate analyst, that prediction. Local real estate analyst predicts that New York City's long-running exodus, which precedes the COVID-19 outbreak last year, will end in April. I mean, just now, like ending now, right?
Right now, today.
It's over.
Yep. It's all over.
The exodus is over. Fewer people are leaving the city and more are returning, reports Nancy Pack's data services following a study conducted with Eastdil Secured. Eastdil. I don't know. Anyways, those two trend lines will finally cross paths this month when the number of households moving into New York City should exceed the number leaving for the first time since at least January 2019. So what they're talking about, like in 2019, there was 85,000 people that left the city, then came into the city. Obviously, in 2020, that number got accelerated. But according to the USPS, that was only 300,000. It was only a net loss of 300,000 since the outbreak of the pandemic. So in the last year, they had a net loss of 300,000 households. In all of 2019, they had a net loss of 85,000 households. So they were already losing people. It only went up 3x in the last year. Seems like with all the hysteria, right, that it would have been more, but it was really only 3x, maybe a little bit above 3x, according to households' change of address requests with the USPS. People were keeping their address in New York City, and if they were never coming back, they would change their mailing address at some point, right? That didn't really happen. 300,000 in a city of millions and millions and millions, it's not a huge number. Now they're saying that in April, you're actually going to see a net positive people coming into the city as opposed to what you saw in 2019 and 2020 with the pandemic. Are you surprised?
You're
about
waiting
that?
for me. I'm not surprised. No, again, I think a lot of people, and again, we can only really speak to our area. I mean, I understand the exodus. I know that people were leaving. Again, we sort of talked to Jill Biggs on our last confessionals. She had a sort of a down year.
She was Hoboken, right outside the city.
Hoboken,
yeah.
right.
Go check out the Real World Confessionals. See Jill Biggs.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So again, we can't deny the fact that there was something going on, but I do think that probably 9 out of 10 people that I spoke to that were coming here from New York were not giving up their apartments. They were not selling their places. They were really looking for a place here that they could sort of retreat from, but that they could also retreat from in the future too, if anything like this were to happen again. So I guess I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm happy to see that people are feeling confident about going back. Again, most people didn't want to sell because they really truly love New York City. They loved the city. Absolutely. They love the hustle and bustle. They love the energy. So again, I guess I'm just happy that they're finally now able to go home. I mean, there was one family I ran into, they hadn't been home in almost 7-8 months, where it's like they were buying clothes as they were like hopping
Cars,
house to house.
clothes,
so
everything.
I mean, I'm happy to see that individuals are going back. And again, I'm not surprised by the numbers because again, most of the people that I were running into did not want to give up their properties in New York. They were looking for a place to hang for a bit.
We covered the Jerry Seinfeld letter on the Real World, I don't know, however many months ago.
Yeah.
And that just seemed like an emotional declaration. New York City is not going anywhere. But I think both of us kind of sided with Seinfeld in the fact that you can't keep the biggest city down forever, nor will you. People will always go back to New York City.
I'm dying to go back.
Yeah, same
like
here.
My daughter is dying to go back. Oh yeah, to visit. Absolutely. Yeah.
But
I mean, you want the life to come back. Absolutely.
It's quite frustrating for us working the Connecticut market where now you just have people just homeowners that are, I'm gonna sell, but not right now, because this is gonna last forever. And it's just, I mean, for 15 years, homeowners were saying, just buy it, find us a New York City buyer. You had it. You had it for 12 months, and a lot of people are missing the opportunity because I'm just gonna say it again. I've been saying it over and over again. Connecticut's at the tip of the iceberg because now you're starting to see trends go the opposite direction. Office demand in New York City, like we covered in the last segment, is up. Let's read the Josh Rubin stat. Here's another one. So not only obviously is the office is up, But
we'll talk to Josh. Josh Rubin is a realtor in New York City. Yeah.
But
what company is he with again?
He's with Element in New York.
Oh,
but the
okay,
sales in New York City are up. Interest rates are going up. There's a lot of things now going the opposite direction from what we've seen in the last 12 months, where Connecticut's just had this great bananas market. So Josh says on Facebook, there were 34 contracts signed last week of 4 million or more. He's just talking about the Manhattan market. This extends a record streak for New York City to 9 weeks of 30 or more luxury contracts totaling nearly 2.9 billion in volume.
It's crazy.
The number one contract last week was his. All right, great,
his,
Josh.
Yeah.
Way to pass stuff on the back. No, I'm joking. Good, Josh.
Well, that's why he posted it.
Yeah, of course. No, but this isn't any different from what I heard from Josh, from Stephen Cohen, who's also a Douglas Elliman agent, and I got to spend a couple days over in Dallas with these guys. They said, listen, we're finally, for the first time here in early 2021, getting multiple offers on well-priced New York City apartments. People are coming back. I just saw, Gary V's camera guy, D-Rock, post the other day, just signed a new lease for New York, going back to the city. He was living in Jersey, I guess, during the pandemic, heading back. You see a lot of people heading back in to New York City, getting excited about going back to the office as well.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the fall winter market, where people are probably coming and buying now because they think that they can get a deal. But again, obviously to New York, it doesn't matter as long as people are buying. Like it's all good. It's all good. Whatever's driving them back. Yeah. No, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear that. I have a cousin that actually got a job down on Wall Street. He was able to get an apartment on Wall Street during the pandemic because there seemed to be so many available for him. So again, I'm excited. I'm happy to hear it. I feel like it's happening a little bit sooner than I had anticipated, but I am happy, especially for our fellow realtors down there, that we're certainly feeling it.
And the brokers in the city don't really say that. They don't really complain about prices going anywhere in the city. They were complaining over the last year about deals. Homeowners just weren't selling their apartments. They're like, you know what? I just don't have to sell, so I'm just going to sit on it and wait this thing out. There just wasn't as many transactions to go around.
Right. Well, and again, I don't know what the rules were in New York, but I'm wondering if they were if anybody even wanted them in. We're talking about.
That's right.
We're talking about vertical here. We're talking about people on top of people, next to people. Who was allowed in, who wasn't allowed, who could show, who wasn't allowed to.
It was very difficult to show apartments, which people are just like, you know what? If I can't even, to your point, get my apartment shown, I'm not going to put it on the market, right?
Right.
And the good brokers like Josh and some other ones that we know, that was the advice they were giving. Like, I can't even show your unit because nobody wants me to bring people in and out of the elevator. So It constricts how much activity I can get on your plate. Like, just hold, just wait, things will turn. And now New York City is turning. And all of these people that said the new normal means that New York City is dead, you are dead wrong. New York City is on the comeback trail, and it looks like as early as today, they're going to start to see a net positive in their migration pattern. So everyone that counted New York City out, sorry, it's back and looks like it's back with a fury. So
love it. Another reason to love April.
There you go. And hopefully, and I did see the first Broadway, I think, was opening. So
yeah, I don't think it's open today, but yes, there are plans for all of that to reopen for sure.
I'll do a quick search here.
You think it was today?
I don't think it was today, but I saw it in the news in the last week.
Yes.
New York City planning for Broadway shows to reopen in September, so they're getting ready.
Yeah, this fall. Yeah.
They're dusting off the stage.
Love it.
There you go.